Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a message for you today, lots of downloads, and of course the oracle cards at the end. And I'm going to get right into it. I think I want to tell you about the sand art first. So, today is August 31st, 2018. It is the last day of August. And I do feel the shifts. I've been feeling like, still feeling that portal energy that's closing up today. It was like the Divine Feminine was going through this portal first, and then some of the Divine Masculines who are kind of like stalling are now having like a last chance to come through this portal. I'm sure there will be another opening in a few weeks, but this is what I was getting right now. For the sand art from this morning, I saw teeth were coming up again as far as cleaning your teeth, maybe flossing as well, but I was also getting fangs and fangs being out. And there's more energies of the scorpion energy, so there may be some stuff about vicious people around. I also got the airport runway. I'm not sure about that, but it could just be runway as well. I was seeing alligators, and so gators came up, and also stingrays, and again the sting then came up. So there's some kind of sting going on. So people, be careful who you're listening to or following or believing, okay? Follow your instincts. And a big message came up for me today, and this was from the movie last night as well, is to not to go along with someone just because you know and trust them. You still need to follow your own instincts no matter what. I watched The Polka King last night. I think that's what it was called. But it was all about, and Spirit's connecting with me. This guy had a really big heart, and he was always following his dreams, and what he really loved doing things for other people. But in trying to be too much for everyone, he ended up in prison because he was, evading taxes and not filing things properly and taking old people's money, that kind of thing. But it's not that he was a terrible person or had bad intentions. People loved him. So it's saying don't do for others before doing for yourself. Okay, and don't follow others blindly. Use your own intuition. So many times I get messages of people asking about this stuff because someone else is making it. The same thing happened to me on my journey as well. People asking, what should I do if this person says this? Well, it's always to follow your own intuition, because what makes you think their instincts are better than yours? You're the one who knows your contract, your destiny, what makes you happy the best. Nobody else can know that except for you. So always follow your own instincts, no matter how much you trust the other person. And I was getting this is very important this week. So be careful what you decide to go along with, because there's a sting going on out there, and just being taken. A lot of scam energy has been coming up this week. I was also seeing dinosaur backs and humps, like the triangles on the back of the dinosaurs, but also their humps, and the short dinosaur with this who's really stout and has like a rhinoceros, has a horn on their head. I was also seeing a lot of drones, and I was seeing ships meeting, like a couple ships meeting on the ground with someone. So the person on the ground wasn't in the ships. They were meeting this person on the ground, and it had to do with the volcano. So I was seeing these ships meet with one on the ground, and then I'm seeing huge wings. The meet seems to be a volcano again, and there's people on the ground and angels standing on the volcano overseeing with large equipment there. And I also got a huge eye, like a small eye with a dot over it, which reversed I had talked about before is the exclamation point, and the small eye is the I, like the oneness, okay? But it also has to do with, iTunes and I whatever, okay? It's all about I. But I got this right next to when I wrote down large equipment, where the ship meets the mountain. I see drilling ×2, and then this I had to do with releasing gases between the ships and the mountain. And I saw lots of gas being released from underneath the ground, I guess. Or there might be a gap under the ground that needs to be released. Next to the volcano, and it's also, I see it being near a shore, which I've seen that before too. Huge birds fly off after the birds seemed to be supporting what was going on at the volcano. And also then I saw a portal, literally. The last of the portal opening is being retrieved. So I was seeing the last of things being cleaned up and taken back in the portal because the portal was going away. And then more drilling at the base of the mountain, ×2 again. And now I'm seeing like 2 robotic arms. And one was kind of like, was looking like taffy, but they looked like robotic hands working on the mountain. And then one breaks that had the like taffy like elbow. It looked kind of like soft there. One breaks down. And then they clear away except for drones and some small eruptions going on. So that's what I got in my sand art today. So a lot of stuff. Okay. All right, so today, being August 31st, 2018, again, watch that movie if you want to. I mean, it wasn't the best movie ever for me, but it was kind of fun. And the message was very clear. I mean, I loved, he had such amazing energy because, you know, he wasn't American, and he was coming to America looking for the American dream, and he, no matter what, he always had this passionate, exuberant attitude that he could do anything. And that came up during the movie too. It's just his friend accused him of lying and scamming people, and he's like, but I'm not lying because I believe this, and Spirit's still connecting with me. It's really important what you believe, okay, what your knowing is, because just because he lived this way, because he truly believed in the American dream, no matter how much he was lying, he would lie and get away with it, because then whatever his dream was about that actually would come true, even though he told people something that wasn't true. It ended up coming true because he believed so much. So that was a big lesson for the people around him as well. But in the end, he got screwed because, like a lot of the divine masculines, they stretch themselves so thin trying to be there for everyone. It's that Jesus complex, right? You want to be the savior, that they end up screwing themselves, and they end up falling at the end because they weren't loving themselves first. And everyone ended up taking advantage of them. So all of those people that they were always there for now turn their backs on them when they don't have something. When they need someone, no one's there for them. And maybe 1 or 2 people. So don't follow others blindly was the message. Always follow your own intuition, your own instincts. So today is the 31st. 31 is that 5 of Wands conflict energy. And there was a lot of that conflict energy coming up this morning. Nothing with people coming into my environment yet, but I could feel that that conflict energy right away this morning. The 31 is a 4, which is the 4 of stability, structure, building, being able to survive on this earth, being able to manifest those things for yourself. It's the 1 of the masculine energy on the inside, working through the joy on the outside. The person who expresses themselves exactly the way they want. They're very joyful and social. So that's the energy. Although it's a 4, it's actually the 5 of Wands. And then the day adds up to, the 8/31/2018, adds up to 50, which is the 10 of Cups. Okay, so that is a 5. And the 5 is of change, expansion, freedom, sex, vacations, romance, all of that kind of thing. And the 50 is that 10 of Cups. It's the ultimate family, you know, complete fulfillment. True happiness is freedom. So we have the 5 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. And they often say if you have 2 5s, you have that new beginning of the 10 of Cups, basically, which starts over into a new cycle. So it's about the end. Today is about an end of a family cycle. It's fulfillment of that dream, but then starting over. So it could be that same dream continuing, or a chance to reset and start over and do something else. And that's where the 5 Wands comes in, that conflict energy to mix things up, right? It's like you know, it's a trigger. Someone poking and prodding, like I'm seeing in the volcano, to get it to erupt, to change, to expand. So, and I had weird dreams this morning, and my dreams had to do with don't follow others blindly also. I don't remember my dreams, rarely. I mean, in the past 3 years, I've probably remembered 5 dreams, 5 or 6 dreams. That's it. I mean, a lot of my messages come through when I'm conscious, okay, or meditating. But this morning, my mother came, not today, but my mother came through yesterday too, like really clear as day. All of a sudden, an image of her was just right in front of my face and she was staring at me. But also this morning, and working through the portal energy last night and yesterday, doing a lot of meditation, I woke up this morning with my sister. And we were coming out of a parking lot, but it was kind of a hard parking lot to get out of because there was no real sidewalk there. It was just like rocks. And we were going to like a mini mart or something like that for a candy bar, like a Baby Ruth or something. So that might be coming up for someone, Baby Ruth. And I just remember nothing was bad about that part, just the difficulty in trying to get to where I was going, okay? Which makes sense, okay? And then I realized when I woke up and trying to remember that part of the dream, it was like the local pool we used to go to growing up. It was just like that, because leaving the parking lot, there's no sidewalk there, so you had to kind of, you know, scoot to the side to get to the mini market. And I didn't relate, it wasn't the mini market like I grew up with in my dream, but that's exactly what it was relating to when I woke up. And then I followed my sister after that. It wasn't the pool though, it was like we were at an ocean, and she just jumped in, and I was like a little leery of this because it was like an ocean, and I'm like, are there sharks in there or fish or something dangerous? And I just blindly jumped in with her, and she's just all happy and swimming around, and I'm following her, and then we swim right past like 2 hippos, 2 huge hippos who weren't even paying attention to us. But I'm like, okay, there was just 2 hippos in this water. I think I should be a little fearful. So we keep swimming, and then all of a sudden something, my left hand was underwater, and something grabs my hand. And it was a gentle bite. It wasn't like they were crunching down on my hand. They just kind of put their mouth on my hand. And I'm like, okay, now I need to get out of here. And before I could like scream or panic or anything like that, I woke up. But that was the message. It's like, don't jump in blindly just because somebody else does it. It's someone you know or trust, because that doesn't mean they're right. Yeah, so follow your instincts. Whew, and there's some masculine energy just came in because I just started sweating. So if you're a masculine who just signed on, please let me know in the comments so I know that was you. So yeah, a lot of expansion energy, and even with the cards this morning, expansion energy was coming up as the main thing, and shamanistic energy as well. That maybe doing some shaman work or just meditation type stuff will help with the heart expansion, stress in your chest. I was getting twice, yesterday and today, the pain will be across the chest and the left shoulder, which could mimic a heart attack. So if you're not sure, and I just got kind of a confirmation for that, so if you're not sure, make sure you get checked. So for the Divine Feminine, and this read was done between 9:22 and 9:55 this morning. The main number that came up was number 5 in the codes, also 99. The major arcana were the Shadow and the Chariot. Shadow is the devil in this deck. 2 wands, 4 swords, a lot of swords this morning, and that I think was coming up because of the expansion energy, because you're going to be stressed physically, not because it's an emotional thing. 2 wands, 4 swords, 3 cups. And the court cards that came up are the King of Wands, which in this deck is a shaman basically, it's an American Indian. The King of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, so there's an energy of the couple, the King and Queen of Wands, which often comes up as the karmic couple. And then Page of Swords, which could be a child or just that energy of news or messages, okay? So the codes I got, were interesting. And they were all about self-discipline today, which is also about following your own intuition. Self-discipline, a spiritual discipline every day. I was getting the God expansion of the rogue lion, because Nai came up again. And the rogue lion also was coming up as the lion's heart, okay, because we're expanding the lion's heart. And the lion's heart is huge, right? But the God's expansion of the rogue lion, or the lion's heart. I was also getting voodoo thoughts were coming up. And something about the Forbes 500 was coming up. So I don't know, I know there's a company that my daughter uses, and I told her I don't like it just because the name is voodoo. But maybe there's something about that on the stock market. But anyway, that came up. Let me know if anything resonates. So voodoo thoughts, and then sweet self-discipline. So I also got the G5. So if G5 means something to you, let me know in the comments below. But I was getting like G5 as opposed to high five. It's like a God 5. Also could be 5 of you. I was also relating it to my piano, because I think my piano is a G9, not a 5. But I gotten a, no, I don't know. But the G5, if you know something about G5, let me know. I was also getting this expansion of the rogue lion as the voice of reason, or the saint. So where sweet was coming up, saint was also coming up. So it's basically the same meaning, and all having to do with self-discipline again. I was also getting the Godfather rogue lion. And then Finding Nemo came up. So somebody might have lost their child. But remember that the rogue lion was ultimately a child that was shunned from their pack, right? So definitely Finding Nemo is coming up. The Godfather, rogue lion, and Finding Nemo. So remember, the Godfather could be a good godfather, someone who's related to you that way, or it could be someone who's been controlling you and in a really bad way. So maybe there's a godfather who you're trying to escape from, and they're putting out like a search for you to get you back. But also boxed in the mind. So a lot of this is all in the mind. So let that go, and that's part of the self-discipline, okay, of staying in your heart and not letting your thoughts get away with you about fear. Because no matter who's after you, if you feed into that, it's still fear, right? Which we know is an illusion. And then comes in again, it's all about the base, And I didn't get any further messages about that. But that came in right at that moment with the Godfather, rogue lion, Finding Nemo, and boxed in the mind. It's all about the base, so it's really about grounding. That's what it is, grounding, grounding, grounding. We're being reminded as the feminines to ground constantly now. Meditate and be outside. Okay. So for the read for the Divine Feminine, it was starting out with the shadow card, which is the devil card in this deck, but it's really just it's a big spider web. And so a web of lies was coming up, and it could even be online web, okay, that covers. And also, by the way, when I went out for my jog yesterday, I came back and realized there was this same spider web was covering my entire front door, which is still there because I didn't want to bother the spider at the time, but I do need to clear it off my front door. But the web of lies, or online web, that was also covering my door, unbeknownst to me, this was divinely placed after, so not just the web on my door, but this general web of lies and online web issues was put in place. It was divinely placed after Divine Feminines may have been scammed by a King of Swords or a player. And now that could even be your Divine Masculine coming in for the sexual energy, or holding back passions, or it could be a Divine Masculine just tuckered out and imbalanced because he's been giving too much, just like the message I just gave. The G-spot also came up and being displayed. A big, bold, forceful judgment is now out in the open with an announcement of new love dancing in the streets with lover. And is that a Springsteen song? I'm bringing it up, but that just came up. I was seeing do-si-do and also hava nagila. And also just lovers walking in the street as well. So there's a couple different situations here. I was seeing dancing, but it was really beautiful love. Like new love, the lovers, and people dancing in the street, like their feet were the opposite direction, but they're kind of like, you know, walking together, but then kind of dancing around. It was really sweet. And then I got do-si-do and hava nagila. And then beautiful love announced on the web, but don't necessarily believe that it's true. Like it might come off as this, it's being shown as this picture perfect thing, but it may be an illusion. It just might be for show to kind of distract people, to get them off their path. Deception of the prison that the Divine Masculine is in, feeling trapped. The heat is on, but it's not a lot of heat. It's just a little bit of heat. But it's like the right foot is greater than the left. To just ignore it. I was getting like someone's a big mouth and they're all talk. So the right foot being greater than the left had to do with the masculine and the feminine energies. Okay? So the right foot, this could be the big mouth, okay, is taking over the left, the feminine. And to just ignore it. So if there are things coming up, talk, blah, 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 web stuff, emails, that's just annoying, or people attacking, because I told you fangs would come out. Scorpion sting came up today, as well as the sting and the stingray. There may be people trying to sting you, but just ignore it. I was also getting talk about a third party, family gossip about 3 that are now 2, which is positive. But I also was getting that kids may be opening their mouths by accident, not realizing, you know, or knowing, but talking anyway, because they're kids. The card that came up is it is safe to love. I was getting the Divine Masculine was playing the Divine Feminines. I was getting 2 words. He was pulling and playing, and or playing with the Divine Feminine's heartstrings, while in a narcissistic contract that's now out in the open. Playing someone's heart for money or for control. Treating them like they were Martians. So the Divine Masculines may have been talking about the Divine Feminine, maybe have been going along with others saying they're crazy. So now the Divine Masculine may be caught with their pants down, or making out with someone, or just a friendly gesture that shocks someone at a party or a restaurant. I was getting maybe a Mexican restaurant, or just somewhere that has a presentation of food displayed, but I was also getting pits and like fire pits. Also 49 and 19 were coming up, and also Valentine's Day. Okay, so I was also getting a family celebration of lovers. So it could be an anniversary or just a family get-together, reunion. But it was next to this shadow or this devil card, with God coming up right behind. Okay, so it's like divine intervention, like, you know, to take out this shadow aspect. And the card that came up was perseverance as the underlying energy. For the Divine Feminine to just persevere. Stay in your knowing at 0 point, and don't feed into any drama, okay? I was seeing 4 beautiful cups are available, but it could be Divine Masculine or Divine Feminine, clinging to overindulgence of work, focusing on energy exchange and not the spider webs that need to be cleared out. So there may be things having to do with the spider web stuff that you need to ignore, and there's other spider web stuff that you need to clean up, okay? But don't feed into anything new. If it's the cleanup, it's just to clean up stuff that's already there, and literally cleaning your house. So I was getting mice and spiders can be nice company, but it's time for the Divine Feminine to expand their wings. Angel. Okay, and then I got literally, the student is now master. Recently, for the Divine Feminine, a big bold move to get out of a web caught in at work. Also the focus on energy and to get through that portal, preordained with a lover, into a safe place. The Divine Feminine needing the courage of their lover to transition, and the Divine Masculine to reach for the prize without thoughts of defeat. And that can go for the Divine Feminine as well. And then make a big move to ignore the web and focus on the Divine Feminine, to focus on her own energy. The Divine Feminine has little shadow left to clear. So they should be doing work that just makes them feel good. So they have little shadow left to clear, work that makes them feel good, lover energy, abundant family, safe to love, with surprise coming, or just had a surprise or shock. This might have come already, but for some it may not have come yet. The foundation for the Divine Feminine had to do with, like they just have a couple more steps to take. Looking back at the first step they took to see how far they've come, how guarded they were, up nights and world in disarray. But that was then. Actually, Divine Feminine, some of them may have like 2.5 steps to go, was the number I was getting. But others don't even have those. In the clear. No more obstacles. Cracked all the codes. At heart, the Magician is manifesting moving forward with the heart expansion. So whatever comes in today, yesterday, going forward, is expanding the Divine Masculine and thinking about having to see the Divine Feminine, thinking about running into him out with others and how that might make her feel. And maybe the Divine Feminine, you know, and just when your mind's going through what might happen if you ever saw your Divine Masculine out there, I was picking up on Divine Feminines thinking about seeing them with their karmic partner, and even if it's not real, like they're just out for show because not everyone knows yet that they're not together anymore, it was the Divine Feminine thinking about seeing them together and how they would feel about seeing him out with others. And also the karmic, and knowing, if you do, I mean this was just a general energy, that some of them, the karmics, are holding their Divine Masculines down by the balls, basically. The challenge for the Divine Feminine is exposing themselves completely and not caring what others think, not giving others power that they don't have. The King of Cups hasn't expressed a thing. Okay, so that could be the Divine Masculine. Could be somebody else in your life. It is a water energy, but it also can just be a kind, loving, nurturing man. So now in the Divine Feminine's head and heart is that King of Wands. Or it could be a shaman. Okay, because it's very shaman in this deck, in the Sirian Starseed deck. The King of Wands is walking away in a split after a bad turn. His right arm, or his masculine side, is totally cut off. The left arm is now holding the bag. So whereas the Divine Masculine is used to his right arm supporting everything and everyone, now it's been cut off completely, and now he has to use his left arm because it's holding the bag, okay? Up nights in negative self-talk and working. He's remembering running from the Divine Feminine. Maybe now his karmic has also kicked him out, or he has kicked his karmic out. Her maybe telling him off, telling him to go find your dreams with your twin union, with your control freak. Like he could be a control freak, or she could be just insinuating things, or whatever. It's just an example. And there could be alcohol involved. The Divine Masculine may have an alcohol issue, and maybe like her saying stuff just to hurt the Divine Masculine, you know. So go, you know, feed alcohol to your twin to light your flame, something like that. So the Knight of Cups is riding in to get sympathy from family about the King of Pentacles. So that could be different for different ones of you. So the Knight of Cups is a loving energy because it's someone who's a charmer, who's a little bit younger, but tends to show love to everybody. So that could be misconstrued as being a player when it's not always. Sometimes it is. Sometimes they're just manipulating people, and sometimes they're just truly loving people, like the Divine Masculine is. So the Knight of Cups is riding in to get sympathy from family about a King of Pentacles, who is someone who's grounded and in control and usually has plenty of money. But soon the Divine Feminine feels the rays shine down on her after coming together at work, being present while the King of Pentacles is not using his intuition, feeling he's got no options left. Okay, So this could be a karmic or it could be a divine masculine. Just whoever that grounded stability is for the divine feminine, because he's coming up as the King of Pentacles, but he's upright. His family has divorced. It is now complete. So again, this could be either side. It could be the divine masculine, it could be the divine feminine's karmic, it could be family as well. But I was also getting a message for the divine feminines and the divine masculines in this situation, that he has now received his wish, but still is blocked about expressing his emotions. The divine feminine is the messenger. You don't have to know why. Just pass on the small messages. And this goes for the divine masculines too. When you start getting downloads, it's not to figure out what the message is necessarily, because sometimes you're not going to understand it all right away. Sometimes it unfolds, and sometimes it's just about getting that message out there, whether you understand it or not. So after stable, after the divine feminine is stable, without the pain of the old divine masculine, the divine feminine feels the divine masculine's stress, exhaustion, and sadness. So if the divine feminine's feeling anything come up and doesn't understand why, it's because her divine masculine's going through some difficult times, okay? Pay attention to the red flags and attraction of the cards that came up. And pay attention to the red flags is just about signs and synchronicities. You know, use your intuition. You should always be doing that anyway. There's no fear, so there shouldn't be red flags, okay? It's signs and synchronicities. And that magnetic attraction is also coming up. Okay, so in coming together, just make sure that no one's rushing you, no one's trying to scam you, or you know, just be a little shady. Make sure everyone's in their truth. Don't feel rushed to do anything. Okay, just be in your truth. Okay, so around the divine feminine is an opportunity it could be for the divine masculine, or whoever's around the divine feminine, is an opportunity for that person to fess up any half-truths that they've told. And it could be the divine masculine, but he also still may have a little arrogance around this because he doesn't want to admit he's wrong. I'm scared to open up his eyes and truly see his divine feminine. While there's an Empress reversed in his energy also, making a fool of him. So it could be a mother, his ex, a boss, but this is an Empress reverse is not a nice energy. It's someone in lack, and it's, you know, usually very nasty energy. But this is obviously someone very controlling of the divine masculine. The divine feminine needs to clear blocks of the Queen of Wands, or the karmic energy, of her being crooked, arrogant, and jealous. Because no matter what she is, even if she is all of those things, she has no power, okay, unless you give it to her. So the divine masculine is coming into a better place. It's going to be difficult for the divine masculine when he releases a lot of things, but there is a release of toxicity here for the divine masculine. With meditation and sexual frustration, kids may be having tantrums, feelings expressed, 5D meditations, but remember that no one controls the situation, okay? If you have a bad feeling about someone, that's fear, and you need to let go of that. The divine masculine is coming up as very unhappy but tired and still learning. Self-discipline and synchronicities comes up for the divine feminine. There's some romance and jealousy, and there's nothing to be jealous of. And again, if there is karmic jealousy and arrogance, it'll just be shut down by the divine masculine anyway. And they don't have power unless you give it to them. Okay? There is divorce and breaks in contracts coming up due to third party, you know, who feels him is connected, his twin, who's connected in the etheric realms, in the 5D world. There is lightning, passion, and satisfaction coming in. And then the Grease song came up. I got chills. They're multiplying and I'm losing control because the power you're supplying is electrifying. Okay. Greased lightning. And that's like, in numerology, the numbers 5 and 8 are described that way. That's the combination of 5 and 8 is like greased lightning. So the King of Wands receives one major download. And I was getting the reference like a whack on the horse's ass. So all of a sudden he just shoots out of the chute, right? To go, go, go. He becomes clear about walking away to a new beginning, a fresh start, holding on loosely to his energy, but keeping things close to his chest, grounding separation and heartbreak of a Queen of Pentacles reversed, and also saving his money. The Queen of Pentacles reversed could be a Divine Feminine who's not grounded, or it could be a Karmic who's just all about the money, really. So shadow work is complete, with news of sadness and regret and a big bold move through heart expansion and stress to floating in knowing, getting wish of satisfaction as the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands separate for a leap of faith and a fresh start. Okay, so that's for the Divine Feminine. Right. And just a reminder to go in when you feel any discomfort, whether it's your heart area or your solar plexus, to feel into it, not try to make it go away, but love it and feel it and go into it. And ask yourself what you need to feel loved today. What is that spot in your body telling you this for? There's a reason. When you ask, that will usually release it, or it will bring up stuff for you to deal with, okay? So for the Divine Masculine, right away I was getting the center card is the 7 of crystals in this deck, but I call that the E tower just in this deck because it literally has an E at the top of the tower. But for me, that's the Divine Feminine's heart space. Just like I tell you in this deck, the 4 of Pentacles is the Bat Cave, the Divine Masculine's heart space. So the center of the Divine Masculine's read was that the Divine Feminine's heart is in his heart, okay, which was a really nice message. The major arcana are the Emperor and the Strength card. There's 4 wands, 2 pentacles, 3 cups, and no swords. So when I did the cards, the Divine Masculine was not in his head this morning. The King of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles were the only court cards. Okay, and then the numbers 6 and 77 were the main cards for the Divine Masculine. And it was interesting how we got G5 in the codes for the Divine Feminine, which I've never really gotten before, and today we had, for the Divine Masculine, he got S5. So very interesting. So if S5 means anything to you guys, let me know. So some of the messages in the codes were all about karmic completion. So there's definitely, for the Divine Masculine, endings going on, whether it's business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's something with a family. They're having major endings, like complete closures. Now, the karmic completion was relating in the code specifically to the Queen of Wands, to the Female of Flames, also to the 9 of Flames, which is all the wounds of the Divine Masculine are relating to this karmic completion. And it was urging the Divine Masculine to get good at transmuting the 5 of Swords and the 9 of Wands energy, because in the deck, those are the 2 most difficult ones probably, right? The 5 of Swords, which is that mental war, you know, be someone who wants, it's those fangs coming out, right, the sting, and also the 9 of Wands, which is all the wounding we're clearing. But it's like saying to get good at transmutation of this, to aiding physical therapy or psychic therapy, right? And expand 9 twins. Also, S9 was coming up, and I always get that for Sophia 9. It's like the wise one, expanding. Okay, and so also the Divine Masculine expanding. So if the Divine Feminine's heart is in his heart, they're expanding together to complete this karmic energy. When I looked up the S5 just to see what might come up, I was just getting like the phones and cards and things like that, both for the G5. Did I even tell you that? Yeah, it just came up as like the Samsung Galaxy. So Galaxy comes up. And the 2018 Audi came up as well. It's also a gaming laptop. An LG smartphone. Also came up was... The first thing that came up when I put in the whole code just to see what would come up was 5 of Wands. And then Thoth. And Thoth came up twice, and his name was not in the coding at all. So Thoth is very important, and Thoth is the one who basically was the recorder of the Akashic records. That's in the paw of the Sphinx. And something about this, the 5 of Wands in the Thoth deck was coming up about Mars out to destroy the 4 of Wands that comes before the 5 of Wands, the stability of the 4 of Wands. So it's that change and expansion. So then I got a game. So I keep getting these games from whatever that site is. And then I got this. The other one for Thoth was Book of Thoth. The root of the powers of fire. Ace of Wands. Strife, 5 of Wands. So 5 of Wands comes up again. Then I got the Princeton Tigers come up, and the tiger comes up in the read today, because the Strength card is a tiger in this deck, not a lion. So the Princeton Tigers came up, and I only wrote it down because all the numbers, it described 38 varsity sports, 1 men's fencing, 6 lacrosse, 3 women's lacrosse, 8 men's golf. So then I liked how the numbers came up. And then the next entry was Alexander of Greece. And as soon as I looked there, it says Constantine, which was my father's name, was the grandson of King Christian the 1X of Denmark, a cousin of both King George the 5, G5, okay, of the United, ... was born 5 months after. So the 5s kept coming up too as well. So you see, like, the relationships here are pretty cool. And then this other game come up, but it was a soul break game. It was like a game to break the heart down, the soul down. Final Fantasy 9. Enter friend's promise made and trigger lingering flame when friends ... going on with the story. Okay? So comment below if any of that relates to you. But for the Divine Masculine read, it's like he was going about his daily routine when the wheel hits. And he walks away expressing, it's like an explosion of feelings, where the wheel hits and all of a sudden he's expressing all of his passionate feelings of hiding a new love and his own self-love. A new lover makes presence known. As the truth breaks through his crown, he may be at the beach or out on the water with a friend. And I was getting a friend with black pointy shoes. At someone who's pushing him around. And his belt always matches his shoes. So if you know someone like that, let me know. Black pointy shoes, and or someone who always matches their belt to their shoes. And someone who's pushing around the Divine Masculine. Like pretending to be the friend, but really just telling them what to do. So the Divine Masculine is finding peace in his feelings of passion. And the card worth waiting for was coming up. He gets off easy in final judgment. He spies on an alcoholic karmic to catch her in the act. So that doesn't apply to everyone, obviously, and it doesn't have to be alcohol, it could be any addiction. And then rebirth comes up. The devil is a child with horns. But I was also seeing this horn in the devil as, you know, the air filters that from the dryers to go out the window. I was getting to check that because some of you might have clogged filters. And it may not just be the dryer filter, but I was getting specifically the dryer filter, but any filters need to be checked, because that could cause a fire, so it's important. Okay, so the devil energy was coming up as, it could be a child or just an adult acting like a child, but it was coming up as the Page of Swords reversed, all right, just spouting off at the mouth, really ignorant because it's immature, right? Spouting off at the mouth, wounded by scorpion stinger, someone with a big mouth resisting the fall. It was actually a Scorpio resisting the fall. Kids, it's either kids being really bad, or they could actually be on the horn, like kids honking the horn in the car when you haven't come back to the car yet. They could just be laying on the horn. Also a big mess announced, so you could have come home after a kid's party where they destroyed the house, or just the child made a mess, or this adult child made a mess, spouting off something they weren't supposed to tell. Or actually this person could just be like a Scorpio devil person, you know, literally. So recently, in the aftermath of disaster, the tower falling apart, with patience of an angel, the Emperor splits, takes off alone or with a Hermit energy or Virgo energy, and the twins are out in the open. The battle is over, but 3 wounds are still exposed as secret divides already broken lovers. And then as I wrote that down, it just started pouring rain outside. Really loud rain. Like no thunderstorm, just pouring really hard. So, or it could be a high priestess without a sex life, divided about the divine masculine, or ready to get clear on what the truth actually is with the divine masculine. He's finding peace by cutting through the BS to express his feelings of passion. In the foundation, there's a Knight of Pentacles. In this deck, it's someone looks like they're proposing something. The Queen of Cups is losing money and power and independence to propose a settlement at work. At the heart of it, for the divine masculine, is the divine feminine's heart. The King of Cups is not expressing his feelings about the disconnect. And it could be a disconnect in his current relationship or with the divine feminine. About butt touching, that was a funny thing for me. Energetic tie or the air sex. So it's the divine feminine saying that, you know, the divine masculine hasn't expressed anything about that stuff. Challenged by, the divine masculine is challenged by the attention and success of the divine feminine now, holding on to the world with their right hand and the twin with their left hand, healing instability of the past. Long gone from timelines of energy stealing and dark energies of the Emperor. The Emperor ignoring her. Now burning his own ass and standing up for himself, and a twin who is stuck in a third-party situation due to him working on details of his passionate new beginning that fell. I see someone throwing pizza. So someone might be throwing pizza and making pizza. But I was also getting Disney World, like someone with their kids in Disney World. The divine masculine rising above a lot of fire caused by divine intervention, hung up on a friend that he keeps reviewing over and over in his mind. Okay, so it could be his divine feminine, just reliving everything that that happened between them. The Emperor now sees the high priestess, or this secret, but now her back is turned. Soon waiting for a 5D message while he is possibly touching other people's butts and talking about whatever. This talking about could be with, if the divine masculine is splitting up, it's a conversation between them on where to go from here. It could also just be them talking about people behind their back. But I was also getting iron rods, gates, and portals. Iron rods, gates, and portals came up for the divine masculine. Also being stonewalled in betrayal from the greatest love of his life. I was getting the chest and left shoulder pain as he bleeds out the passion for his knowing. Planning to 5D connect around the world. He is a tiger in pain cycles, with kids going back and forth or just finding peace in transmuting this pain. His eye is on the prize, and the cards that came up were flirt and religious factors. So there could be some differences, obviously, between the divine masculine and feminine. There always are. But also flirt was coming up, and the Queen of Swords is guiding him as, and this could be different couples. The Emperor and Empress both reversed came up. So it could be the Divine Masculine and his partner who's breaking up. It could be his parents, it could be her parents, it could be another family couple, relative, or grandparents, okay? But I was coming up with the Emperor and the Empress both next to each other and reversed. So these parents, whether that's the Divine Masculine or not, are sick. These two parents reversed are sick of all the nasty talk, the fighting, and the overwhelming burdens, lack of truth around the Divine Masculine. So it could be him or someone around him. But they're either sick of hearing the Divine Masculine, or they're not good people because they're both reversed, the Emperor and the Empress, okay? Or they're just sick of everything, okay? Or tired, or just not themselves. So around them is sorrow. I wrote down sorrow, but it came down sorry. Sorry, sorrow, loss, and regret after clinging to greed, status, and possibly snobbery as well, elitism. The Divine Masculine was a fool and is now paying for it. He's seeing this. He needs to clear blocks of unconditional love, passion, and fear of what to do for work when the worst is over. And possibly for some masculines, he feels like all he has left to show for himself was stolen. Or once he runs away from work, what prospects does he have? And then karmic completion comes up. He gets his wish with the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, twin flame, big love. He's been holding on to get her to come back. There's a huge new passion over loss. Can't read the word I wrote, but just, it's like he got the prize. He's done taking people down before they get him. Arrows of love and practical proposal, ferociously anticipating 5D messages, but not seeing what's right in front of him for fear it won't be true after his foolishness. The Emperor goes to the E-Tower, or the Divine Feminine's heart, for attention, to receive 5D messages or mastering love to rise above, as the twin flames with third flame come together. It was huge. So the last two cards were literally in this deck. The Two of Wands is two big flames, and the Ace of Flames with the after card right above it, the third flame, all coming together. So it was really beautiful. Okay. So again, really positive energies. And I'm going to pull your cards for you now. We have the Ascension deck. Okay, and this is for the organic Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Twin Flames. What is the advice? What is the advice? What is the advice? We have Kuan Yin, and Archangel Metatron's cloak is at the bottom, which we've read a couple times this week already. Okay, that's 51, which is the King of Swords. Kuan Yin is 43, which is the Three of Cups. And we have 5333 was just up. Okay, Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin says, Kuan Yin is the master of the 12th ray of unconditional love. She radiates a vibrant cerise pink light of divine feminine energy, love, and compassion. Kuan Yin is re-empowering women everywhere and bringing forward feminine wisdom in men. She's inviting you to develop your divine feminine qualities, including your healing abilities. Find ways to nurture and empower others and yourself. Give yourself permission to go with the flow and share with everyone for the highest good. This will subtly affect your stellar gateway chakra and build the Antakarana bridge to source. Okay, so the more you come into your unconditional loving abilities and your healing abilities, your meditation abilities, your psychic abilities, the more connected you will become, and the more abilities will come out. The affirmations, I act from my divine feminine wisdom, and Kuan Yin is all about inner child issues as well. So call on Kuan Yin if you need that to work on some inner child wounding healing. Okay. For the past life deck, okay, we have for the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Twin Flames, Organic, Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Twin Flames, clear line. Oh, Galactic wanted to pop out. I wasn't shuffling anything yet, but just so you know. Okay, and this is for the Organic Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Twin Flames. What is the advice? Egypt wanted to come out, but I wasn't really focused. All right. What is the advice? What is the advice? What is the advice? Okay. So you have trust and faith at the bottom. Okay, so very important to always have trust and faith and patience. And the card that came out was Medicine Man or Woman, which was, you know, the King of Wands in the read today was the Shaman energy. Okay. And here we have the spider web as well. That's over my front door. Yeah, don't hang yourself. That's the message I got right away. Again, it's the same message. Don't hang yourself. Follow your own intuition. Don't follow others blindly. It will only get you into deep water. And you may need to see a shaman, a medicine man or woman. It doesn't have to be a shaman. It could be a traditional medicine man or woman. Just make sure that you do what's best for you. And again, if you have chest pain and you feel like it could be a heart attack, you know, certainly don't ignore it. Take care of your health. Yeah, oh, because you can't get your, I was just getting to, you can't get your wish if you're dead. So make sure you take good care of your health. And then for the journey of love, here's the journey of love for the Organic Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Twin Flames. Organic Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Twin Flames. Clear and align. Okay, what is the advice for the Organic? Organic Divine Masculine, Feminine, Twin Flames. What is the advice? What is the advice? Okay. Yin Yang Lover and the breaking. So the breaking's at the bottom. Okay. It can be literal or figurative, however it resonates with you. And the card that came out is Yin Yang Lover. It's number 8. Okay. And I'm going to read that to you, number 8. Okay. Yin Yang Lover. The force of attraction is stronger than your conscious control. There's no need to fight this inner genius. You can learn to speak its language instead. And it's just 5757. What is it that captures you, that pulls you close, that holds so much light for you? Why fight it? Don't step away from what you really love to grab hold of a second prize. Why not claim your first prize? It is there waiting for you. It is yours alone, beloved. No one else can claim your own divine birthright from you. By yielding and let your desire fill your body, your heart, and your mind. You don't have to fight for what is already yours. It will come to you through your field of attraction that emanates from your own heart. It is not a question of worthiness or deservedness. It is not a question of trying to work out what you need or want. Your heart always knows. Listen. If you still can't hear, then just feel. You'll get the gist of it soon enough. This oracle has a message for you. No matter whether you seem to be heading closer to your goal or further away, you are making real spiritual progress, and what you want is the same thing that's wanting you. What you are seeking is seeking you. It's only a matter of time before you get it. And the poem reads, the moment when to fill my heart again is measured not in time or sweet remorse, nor tears that wash away unbridled pain, or morning's light which sings its soft retort. Such love has slept through storm and winters long. No call could break the stillness's embrace, or hasten change before the season's song unfurls its melody and words so chaste. Empowered thus I found myself compelled to cast aside emotions dormant still. My feelings spoke from depths, the answer welled. No need to pass the emptiness to fill. At one our touch has opened hearts anew. Of patience born, there waits a love so true. Okay? So, as I say a lot to you guys, you can't do anything wrong. Your path is your path. And it's really all about patience. trust and patience, faith, and that's surrender. Okay, trust and patience. It's not an easy thing that it's very simple, but it's not easy to understand or live by. You know, you think when you start this journey that patience is a month, when it's really years. Okay, it's patience and trust, faith, knowing that if you allow the universe to guide you, it will guide you better than anything you can do for yourself. Okay, so make sure you drink a lot of water, rest. Energy's a little stressful today, and if you're getting any chest pain, it's just heart expansion, so don't freak out unless you really feel like you're having heart problems, and then make sure to get checked. Okay, drink your water, rest, make sure you're eating healthy, and get outside and get a little exercise. Okay, rise and be loved, guys. Have an amazing day.